William Hill, the home of betting.
Ven Farm in Dorset is home to some 700 animals, the majority of which are cows. But as well as being a successful dairy farmer, Colin Tizard and son Joe are also responsible for one of the best chasers in the country in Q-Card, who smashed a top-class field in the Betfair Chase last month and looks to add to a CV which already includes 2 Cheltenham Festival triumphs in the William Hill King George at Kempton on Boxing Day.
It's come out really well. He seemed in good nick. He had a pretty easy sort of couple of weeks for him afterwards, and now he'll do a fair bit this week leading up to it. But he's in fine form.
I think we were 5th in the betting that day. It was a brilliant race. Anything in this country, what was anything, were there. I thought, and he beat him easily. So he deserves to be top rated.
Were you surprised quite how dominant he was at Haydock?
I'm sure we all were a bit. We go there hoping, but in these very top class races, you've got to be smack on the job on the day, and that was him at his very best. The whole way he jumped and travelled. Joe took a pull on the last bend and fill up, and then he stayed on really strong. He showed everything you'd see in a racehorse, I think.
And will you employ the same tactics at Kempton, go from the front? I'm
sure we will. I'm sure there's other people out there who think they're going to take us on. We don't really want to show our hand too much, but people know what we're going to do. There was a time you couldn't sort of sit in with them. When he went to King George last year, we thought going 3 miles in heavy ground we'll hold him up. He pulled like a train going in the first 2, nearly fell both fences because he wasn't concentrating. Nowadays, if someone wanted to take him on, they could, because he's easier to ride. He's very relaxed, and I'm sure, we'll run him in front because that's what we've been doing. But if someone wanted to go faster, they're welcome to. If they do, they're probably going too fast.
He got very tired in the King George, and ever since then he's learnt to save a little bit. So I basically sit on him and try and do as little as possible, and knowing that he's always saving a bit for the end.
And he has won on testing ground, but 3 miles at Kempton with the rain falling, would that be a concern?
Not at all, no. I mean, Kempton was good to firm nearly last week, so we need a fair bit of rain to make a difference, and whatever happens, it won't be as heavy as it was last year. So he's won on all sorts of ground. Haydock was pretty testing, he coped with that okay, so it's not a problem. It's a top class field again. I mean, you've got Alfarov coming back, you've got Dinast and Silviana Conti are having their first runs at Haydock, and they'll probably improve a bit for it. That's a hot race, and there's no hiding places for any of them. But if Alfarov came back to his best, I mean, we've got some form with him in the bumper and the Supreme Novice. It'll be I think he's still sort of unproven.
Well, he's proved he stayed 3 miles. What about 3 1/4? Would he go for the Gold Cup at Cheltenham?
Yeah, I think that's everybody's dream that he will. If he stays, if he blatantly doesn't stay at Kempton next week, we'd have the other option of coming back to the Ryanair. But I think Bob and Jean are very keen that we have a go when he's at his very best, and there's no reason to think he doesn't stay yet, is there? If you've seen him at the run in a Haydock, he was one that was staying.
Reopposing Q-Card at Kempton is Dinast, an impressive winner of the Feltham Novices Chase at the meeting last year, and who got within 5 lengths of Q-Card on his seasonal reappearance in the Betfair Chase.
Yeah, he ran the race of his life. He went up £10 for that race, and proved that he can perform at the top level, which is fantastic for his owner and us at the yard. It's great to have a horse like him in the yard, and looking forward to the King George.
And how's he come out of the race?
Yeah, he seems to come out of it well. He's bouncing on the gallops, and we're pleased with his prep, and hopefully we can keep it going until Boxing Day now.
Q-Card had the benefit of a run, beat you at Haydock. Would you be hopeful of turning the form around now you've a run under your belt?
Well, I still think he's still the one that everyone's got to beat. And you've got Alpha Off as well and Silvano Conti. I think hopefully we can get a little bit more out of our fella. We obviously like the track, as we won the Feltham there last year, but I'm sure all the other horses will as well. We just hopefully we can get him there in the order that he is at the present moment, and he'll be there at the finish.
Is there a feeling that Kempton's his track?
Maybe. Maybe we make too much of that, but he certainly won't mind it anyway.
I mean, longer term, people have been saying he's more a King George horse than a Gold Cup horse. Would you agree with that?
They may be right, time will tell. We haven't looked any further than the King George at the present moment. I would imagine have an entry in the Gold Cup, the Ryanair. We'll see, but we'll get the King George over with first.
And of those he's up against, who would you be most fearful of?
Well, I think Q-Card sets the standard, and he was probably going away at the end at Haydock last time, so it was a very good performance by him. He's the one that we've all got to beat, but Alpha Off, I think, will like Kempton as well and is a serious contender.